What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite host and jealous hater, Apoc, and welcome back to the channel. What's going on, Cold C? How you doing?
You know, just the usual.
Feeling a little froggy today, I think, right?
I'm feeling a little bit extra today. So I say we get to this and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not liable for anything that I say. Just kidding.
Feeling froggy and tipsy. So
feeling froggy and tipsy, and honestly, I just want to roast somebody. So
this is the perfect clown to roast then.
I'm excited.
So to give some context, I guess DCP posted up this list, right? And it's a list about the comments he gets on Maya Knight. We all know that DCP rails on Maya Knight for being a single mother and blah, blah, blah. I know that a lot of people might say, oh, well, he says this thing where he points out that. He doesn't really care. He just wants to bash on Maya Knight because she reminds him of his mother or something like that. I mean, to me, that's projection, and he shouldn't be, projecting onto other people, his own trauma and issues. But, that's just me.
I knew that when Maya started getting very, very popular, she already had a lot of followers, but when the big boom happened where everybody was talking about her and her children, I kind of sensed that there would be some DCP videos that followed that because he is a clout chaser and she has a lot of followers, and it doesn't matter the negative comments that he gets from her rabid fans, which I do believe are rabid, by the way. I'm not denying that. They are another level, but it's all engagement for him. So of course it's a win-win for him. Either he gets good comments from his followers saying how he's doing justice for these children, or he gets engagement from her fans that are defending her and, saying bad things about him. And there's really no way to lose. He gets money either way.
I agree that, her community is probably full of rabid dogs. I mean, DCP's is as well. The vlogging community as well. I mean, they're all relatively like people in general, but you gotta love the projection deflection from him, because the things that they say, the arguments that they use, are the same things he uses himself, and so does his community. I mean, I just posted up something on my community tab. I don't know if you saw it, but it was basically saying that Maya Knight fans only use incel as an insult because they have nothing of value to say. But he literally did the same thing to me only a couple months prior.
I did see that. I did see that on your community tab.
So he made this list, right, about the comments he gets, from them, used as arguments to justify Maya or to throw shade against him. And today we are going to read off that list because it's actually kind of cringy.
It's up there. It's pretty bad.
Again, he will use the same arguments and we'll apply that here. So he says, I'm going to get the comments out of the way first so you morons don't have to. So the first one on the list of comments is get a life. I wouldn't say that when you do look at it, you're just kind of in your basement. He's basically a daily vlogger now. You know what I mean? And he's always in his basement. Sometimes he posts multiple times a day.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of true crime lately, and this may be a false comparison, but there's something that gives me the same vibe as Josh sitting in his basement, ripping on these family vloggers, these typically very attractive women that he claims not to hate, but is completely obsessed with, and not about their actions, about how they look and their fillers and their sex appeal, what have you. And then all of these men that go on to do bad things and commit crimes, there's a lot of the same behavior, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Now, I really would hope, and I don't think that Josh would not ever do anything bad to anybody, but I still don't like it. And it's still creepy. And it's still really, really weird. If he came into my Hooters, I would get my manager to kick him out.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just imagine Josh, what he does online, and just think about what he's thinking if he was in a restaurant like that.
He would definitely be a table that I would pay another girl to take so that I didn't have to take him.
You know who Josh reminds me of? It reminds me of a Mia Khalifa situation. I think that's how you say her name. She's the, ex. And she was saying that she can't go back to the Middle East because they would, but she looks at her analytics and finds out that the majority of people watching her are from the Middle East. The biggest prudes are always the biggest perverts.
It's the age-old term, he doth protest too much. The more you speak out against something, the more suspicious you become, because there are certain contexts in which you can say, I don't like that, or that's a bad thing. But then the more and more you do something and you do something in certain ways that Josh is doing them with
Right.
very pointed language in certain directions and certain themes, if you know what I mean. I just have a really hard time believing that he thinks Jess Fam is so ugly and unattractive and that the color yellow looks disgusting on her, whatever he wants to say.
He used to like her, and now he seems he's kind of like harping on her more. I think what happened was that he finally got a clue, a hint that she's not into him, like she's not gonna him. So now he's gonna harp on her, you know, full brew. That's what it seems like. Because before, like I said, he actually has said that Jess would be good at snarking or doing commentary or this and that, and he would pay her compliments. And now it seems like those compliments no longer exist and he like really hates Jess. I think it's because he's realized that there's some rejection going on.
Definitely.
All right, next on the list is you are bald. Well, I mean, you are.
That's just stating a fact.
Yeah, I mean, context, right? If someone's just saying you're bald, what's those about?
He's also said it multiple times himself.
He says he doesn't care, so why is he using this as an example of comment?
If somebody's using that as an insult, of course, I think that there are better ways that obviously that they could get their point across, because just pointing out a fact that somebody missed themselves is not like the best comment to make to try to like pwn them or whatever, like, you know, own whoever is making the video that you're commenting on or whatever. I don't think that that's like the most intelligent thing to say or the most effective thing.
I'm pretty guilty of that too. I mean, but hold on, I'm gonna stop you there. You gotta say though, that is pretty funny that he like shrews his hair up like a troll doll to make it look like he has more on his head.
You know what I think? And I'm being very genuine right now. I think that he should just embrace it and just shave it all. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Usually men that are going bald, they look 10 times better if they just shave their head. If you want to keep your hair, fine, whatever. But if you're good, just embrace the bald thing and just own it. Like, men that are unapologetically bald, I'm not mad at it.
These comments saying that you're bald, I mean, if you embrace it, they shouldn't get to you, you know? But he makes fun of women all the time, calling their hair dead. It's the same guy.
It's a physical appearance. It's an ad hominem. It's something that's unrelated to the message, the cause, the crusade for the children. But yet he used the time and he's going to put it in this list to say that it's not a good comment when he does it multiple hundreds, if not thousands of times by this point to other people who he's trying to take down and show people that they're not perfect and they're not a good person. They're not a good mother, whatever. It's hypocritical. I'm not saying that either side should be attacking anybody for their appearance, but if you're going to dish it out, you've got to expect that somebody's going to give it to you.
He's the one who dishes out the most. But he's also the one that can't take. I mean, he's using these as examples of comments, but he does these same things to others. And of course, they'll say, well, we're doing it to people. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. It's a thing to do, right? Well, if people think you're then they're justified in doing it to you.
Go watch my latest DCP video where I talk about moral disengagement theory. I break this down with academic terms and psychology. Go watch it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that for the entire list of things that he's about to say, because I've seen some of the list, and just go watch my video if you haven't already seen it. If you have already seen it, you're going to be able to connect some dots with the list that we're discussing in this video.
Number 3 on the list is, why is this old white man talking on a single mom? Okay, well, the white part, I don't really understand. But the old part, I get. I mean, you are an old man harping on a young single mother. It is funny, though, because somebody was calling him old or a boomer or something like that. And he didn't like it. He goes, yeah, being an ageist is a thing. Chill with that. Dude, you're mad because somebody called you old. But all the that you say to everyone else, out of here, dude. You know what I mean? Again, we'll get this excuse that they do it to the child exploiters. Yeah, he says the same about people who don't exploit their children. So that argument is just so nonsensical.
Well, it's really funny because he has said, and I have this again in my video of him literally saying, where somebody that comments says, well, I do the same things as Jess Fam or Bits of Brie or whoever he's critiquing, heavy quotation marks there, whoever's the subject of his video. And he says, well, it's okay that you do it because you're a good mother. You don't exploit your kids. I'm trying not to get too philosophical here, so I'm not going to go into detail, but there are different stages of philosophy and different stances that some actions can be inherently moral based on their intention, but then some are not based on their intention. I don't think that it tracks with what Josh is saying from a philosophical level and from a psychological level that a singular action, okay, a nuclear action is good or bad depending on if this person exploits their children or not. He says that nobody should wear the color yellow because it's ugly. Well, I don't have kids, so I can't exploit them. If I wear the color yellow, He, in his own words, says that that's okay because I don't exploit children. But he'll vilify another person like JustFam for wearing the color yellow.
So he just thinks that in general, that wearing the color yellow is stupid, dumb, and lame. It doesn't matter if you exploit your kids or not. That's his mentality on things. And this is what I said in my, I think I said in a previous video or a video coming up. And this is exactly what we're talking about. The things that DCP harps on women about are regular things women do. Makeup, hair extensions, and surgeries.
Fake eyelashes. Hey, Josh, if you're watching, which I know you are, I'm wearing fake eyelashes. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna say about me?
Right? Oh, it's okay. You don't exploit your children, right? Fake eyelashes, hair extensions, surgeries, whatever, are not things that are specifically directed or specifically to vlog moms alone. All those things are normal, like within society and with women. You wear makeup, JustFam wears makeup, Paige wears makeup, Micah wears makeup, right? Oh, but we should bash Micah for wearing makeup, but somebody else, this regular female, shouldn't be hurt by Josh's words because she doesn't exploit her children, but she wears the same color eyeshadow, she wears the same color lipstick. You know, don't get offended because it's not about you, it's about the child exploiters. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it literally makes no sense.
And he really tried, except I see right through it because I have a very good meter. He really tried to say, you know, these women are comparing themselves to these moms that have had work done and whatever, as if, number one, he's like breaking some news that the internet is fake,
right?
And that influencers typically get work done or edit their photos. Like, it's not a fucking secret.
No, he acts like he cracked the code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know who died and made him king of like women's issues. If there is anybody that is, I'm so mad right now. If there is anybody that is so unqualified to be a male speaker of women's issues, it's Josh. It's
he doesn't even know what Plan B is.
He literally doesn't even know how Plan B works. As a female, as a woman, that is, I'm gonna admit it, I've taken Plan B before. Mistakes happen. I've taken Plan B before, and I know how it works. I know how birth control works. He is so uneducated, and I'm always of the opinion, if you're not educated, don't speak on it. Even if your opinion turns out to be correct, if you are not 100% sure, don't speak on it.
He could have literally popped out his phone and Googled the definition in like that, like nothing. 10 seconds to find out what Plan B is. His community of women who know what Plan B is don't even call him out on it and go like, hey guy, that's not what Plan B is. What are you talking about? They just go on because he's harping on JustFam.
Apoc, this dude won't even change a diaper and makes his wife change all of the really bad diapers, and you think that he knows how Plan B works?
That's true.
I think not. Have a hard time believing that.
Number 4 on the comments list. Apparently to DCP, this is a comment. Stop bullying this single mom of twins. Really wouldn't say that's a comment. I mean, they're just telling you to stop bullying a single mom. Like, you can have your argument to say whatever, but bro, if this is what DCP considers comment, that's so funny coming from the guy who harps on people so hard, but he thinks that's
he is so sensitive to certain things said to him when he says 10 times, 100 times worse to other people. Like, do I think that making videos actually critiquing somebody is bullying? No. And I understand the aversion like that people may have to saying, oh, well, she's a single mom of twins. I've seen that on Twitter a million times. I've also seen people call her a teen mom, which is factually incorrect. Like, she's not a teen mom. She graduated college. Like, she's in her 20s. I don't get the comments because it kind of just seems like they're trying to use her identity and her like life experiences as something that invalidates his argument. But the thing is that you don't even need to go that far because his arguments invalidate themselves. He is a clout chaser through and through, and I wholeheartedly believe, and I will die on this hill, that the only reason that he started talking about Maya Knight is because she was blowing up everywhere. She had millions of followers before he started talking about her, but he only started talking about her when people were saying, you should do Maya Knight, you should do Maya Knight, because he saw dollar signs, he saw views, he saw, well, allegedly maybe not real subscribers. The jury's still out on that one. He's a clout chaser. He's only saying all this stuff about Maya to get interactions and to get engagement because his engagement is in the toilet.
He crowdsources all his videos. He asked people
what. He said that he didn't even research her. He didn't even watch her content.
When he first started covering OK Baby, he didn't even know Kira's name.
When you're going to make an entire video talking about somebody, I would hope that the bare minimum qualifications were that you at least knew something about them to talk about them.
So number 5 is, so moms can't drink anymore? Well, the way DCP goes about it kind of seems like he's a big prude when it comes to drinking. Although, if he likes them, if they give him attention, he'll completely ignore that. You know, he'll harp on Maya Knight for, you know, drinking her White Claws around her children. But when Nicole Polson did it, when her kid was crying off in the background and she was getting drunk, drinking White Claws, but she was roasting the dad of YouTube, he completely forgot about it and didn't care. In fact, he actually said that they sounded good.
I keep going back to this, but it really seems like he really just harps on women. And I think maybe, does he bring this up later about how he makes fun of men too, so he's not misogynistic?
That's his point, is I talk about men too. That means I'm not misogynistic. Dude, just because you talk about, you know, a guy every now and again, it doesn't mean you're not misogynistic. And the fact that he uses that as his excuse or to justify whatever kind of implies that he is misogynistic.
The things that I've seen him rip on men for are usually just their wardrobe or the way they talk and that they say bro too much. Misogyny is not erased just because you're also an to the men. That just proves like, okay, well, if anything, he's just a baseline, but he just has it extra out for women that he projects his childhood trauma onto. I hope this pisses you off. I've got a whole bottle of wine right here and I'm not afraid to drink it, so don't piss me off.
Cringing hard right now. All right, so number 6, her kids are alive and eat food, so that means my night is amazing.
This is Josh simplifying somebody else's argument.
Yeah.
So dumbed down that it basically makes it easier to disprove, because the children being alive and fed is basic bare minimum care of a infant, toddler, human being. Fed, clothed, sheltered, alive. That's like the bare minimum. They do that on Survivor. I really don't think that as like rabid as Maya's fans are, that they're commenting, well, at least her kids are alive and clothed and fed. Fangirling for Maya and her children, which again, I do find weird. I'm not excusing Maya or her fan base. I don't like them. I find it creepy. It's too much. But yeah, the simplified nature of this comment is disingenuous to me, because I don't really see anybody commenting that on his stuff. And also, I thought he nothing the haters. I thought that he just didn't pay attention to them, and yet he's making this whole post about it.
This whole list contradicts what he said about nothing his haters.
He made a whole video and like a whole stream about inviting some like Maya supporters to basically come and like debate him, because he knew that he could destroy them. And oh, well, nobody showed up. They're all like a bunch of wusses or whatever.
This is the same guy who literally, he won't debate anybody about him whatsoever. But yes,
I would 100%, 100,000% debate Josh on live stream. I'll be drunk as shit and I will still destroy him. Like, I literally, this is what I eat for breakfast. I will destroy him. I would love for him to talk to me, but he won't, because he knows that I have good points.
Destroying him in a debate is just as easy as him destroying the Maya Knight fans in a debate. Good job, Josh. Sticking it to those
2 thumbs up. You're really sticking it to everybody, not making yourself look like a total douchebag.
You're real tough, man. You're really good at arguing. Maya Knight fans. That's pathetic,
if Josh thinks that he is so good at debate and he has such good points that nobody could ever counter him, I agree with the message, which if I say that one more time, I'm gonna really think that this is a cult. But like, I agree with the core premise that child exploitation is bad. I want to go on Josh's channel, or Josh can come on my channel. Either way, if I invited him on my channel, he'd say that I'm trying to get views and subs and whatever. Honestly, I don't really care. Truthfully, I'm not trying to brag, but I don't need the money from YouTube. Like, I'm not doing this to try to make money. I'm doing this to give my opinion and break down the so Josh, I am a feeble, in your opinion, I'm probably a feeble woman who wears fake eyelashes. So I'm obviously super fake. So have me on your channel and let's talk. I really want to know what your problem is with women.
All I would do is hop on and he would look at your backdrop and be like, what is that, eggshell? That's about it. That's his argument, because that's as good as it gets. Number 7, you don't know her. Again, that's not really a comment. You don't actually know her. Now, of course, you can say the same thing about their audience, that they don't actually know her, and that's like the whole point. No one really knows her. She's also not the same as like per se like a vlogger. She does the more relatable stuff on TikTok rather than
more snapshots rather than we did all of this today.
So number 8, which is, these are clips of her life. A lot of these things that are listed off here aren't really comments. He's using an example of someone saying that these are just clips of her life. I mean, they are. So, like, what's the argument here?
I thought that these were going to be like the stupid or dumb arguments that people make against him that would be easily pointed, that this thing is obviously not correct because of X, Y, and Z reason, through intellectual dishonesty or, you know, a flaw in the argument, fallacies, whatever. This just seems like so far a list of like very common things that people would think of. Like, I've gotten comments before, like we reviewed a few in my addressing the comments video of somebody saying like, imagine hating on someone, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Or imagine being so bored with your life that you make a whole video hating on somebody.
I actually thought about this too last night, is that you and me should come up with a list of our own for comments him and his community would you know, use against us, but actual ones that make sense and not just stuff he thinks sounds bad. I guess, I don't know, because again, saying these are clips of her life isn't a comment. All right, so number 9 is you are fat. Well, what's wrong with that, Josh? I mean, you say that bullying people for things within their control is just fine. It's surface level, right? Well, it's very, very surface level. And you have complete control over what you consume. And obviously, you're not very good at it. You obviously don't have a lot of self-control. So, but this applies to your mentality that you're allowed to make fun of things that are within people's control. Now, you say the argument as well, or comment, but you also make fun of people's weight. Again, here's another example of him about the same things that he says.
Me personally, I don't really care if he's fat or not, because I don't really think that affects his affect. I don't think that affects his personality. Does it make him like maybe be perceived as a little bit more bitter because people perceive like fat people to be not deserving of like skinnier, hotter, more conventionally attractive people? Sure, whatever. I mean, I don't think that being fat is a bad thing. But when Josh comes after all these other people for all of these other procedures that he's had done, and then he wants to say, oh, well, you guys are calling me fat, when he's had his own medical procedure done in order to reduce his weight, reduce his fat percentage of his body, it's just a little bit ironic to me. Like,
let's also keep in mind though that when he did that, he goes on his Fat Guy Beast Mode YouTube channel and claimed that he lost weight when he didn't. So the guy who says, watch out for these influencers, they'll get you, they'll fool you, they live a lifestyle that, you know, isn't real, and they tell you lies. The guy who spews that now literally went on this very platform and claimed that he had a weight loss journey, claimed that he lost all this weight by working out, being healthy and all this and all that. But in all reality, he just went to Mexico and got his fat cut out. That's literally what he speaks out against doing. And he did it. And he'd do it again too. He will do it again. So he is. He's one of them. Number 10, you must be an incel. We already went over that one right there, where he literally called me an incel when sending me that garbage of a video, but then post that community tab on my Night Fans calling him an incel. And here he is doing it again.
I would love to see how that applies to me, because I don't like Josh. I'll fully admit, I unequivocally do not like Josh. I find very few and far between redeeming qualities about him. Is he going to call me an incel? Or is he going to go for something about my appearance, which I feel like he would probably go for? Or is it that I drink alcohol? Or is it that I worked at Hooters? Or is it that I have naturally large breasts? Is it that I wear fake eyelashes?
All right, so next in line is your wife must hate you.
Obviously.
I mean, yeah, that's just clear as day. There's no argument there. I mean, you're never around them. You never spend time. You're always in your family vlogger mom torture chamber. So, I mean, I'm just going to assume your wife hates you too. That, or she's complicit, which just makes her a piece of too, if that's the case. If not, then she's being held hostage. But, you know, we'll go to the next one. Number 12, I drink around my kids too. What's wrong with it? Okay, so if people are saying that, they're just mean they might have like a drink or two. It's not a big deal. People are allowed to drink around their kids as long as they're not getting plastered. Just because they say they drink around their kids doesn't mean they're getting up. It just means they're having a beer or two. He's such a prude when it comes to alcohol. He'll say, if you're a consenting adult, you're smoking something, or you're having a drink, it's not a big deal, you know. But when you're getting hammered, it's like, dude, this person's not saying they're getting hammered. They're not saying they're throwing a party. They're saying they're having a beer. And this is kind of like plays into what we said earlier about how like when somebody like projects so much, he also says that a lot. Like he says it just these weird places with like within his videos. What makes me think is that he's an alcoholic. alcoholic because he projects so much about how much he doesn't drink and how much of a prude he is when it comes to other people drinking. Like, this comment truly does make me think that he is an alcoholic or he drinks a lot. So number 13, you're dumb. Note the spelling of your. He's the grammar police, always got to, you know, correct people's grammar, even though he messes up with his grammar and the way he says things sometimes. So he's not really anybody to call anybody on this, but I like, again, how he's saying that this is comment, somebody just calling him dumb, but his go-to thing in all of his videos is to call others dumb, stupid, or lame, or ew. All right, so number 14 is, I hope you fire. I'll agree, that's probably the first going on here. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, nobody should be wishing anybody to fire.
No, but to be fair, he also has been known to put other families in danger. Again, it's like hypocritical, you know? I don't know.
Okay for Josh to say that that's not okay, but also he has wished some other inappropriate things and evil things to happen to other family vloggers.
Number 16, we highly doubt that she was actually taking her kids to bars, and they were most likely restaurants that had a bar in them, because you go to any bar here in the States, it will have a big old sign on the door saying no minors allowed, and they will not allow you in if you have babies. So just more he's spewing. Number 17, you're a hater. I wouldn't say that. I mean, you are a hater, but...
And you're a jealous hater, so...
Yeah, I'm a jealous hater. That's
jealous
me.
hater, of
That's
course.
Me. That's my thing.
What do you consider me as? I'm curious to know, because I don't feel like Josh is ever really going to give me an answer.
You know, he might just call you a detractor. You know what I mean? Number 18, Maya Knight is the queen. Okay, well, I mean, that's just someone's opinion, and you can say that she's not a queen, but again, how is
Apoc,
this
you're a queen.
Comment? I'm a queen.
You're
right?
a queen.
Number 19, this one's good. Touch grass, whatever the that means. Do you not know what that means?
He is so, this is what this means to me. He is so chronically online that he doesn't even know the term for when people say that they are so chronically online that they need to touch grass.
It is a bruh moment for sure. Just wait until he actually learns it too, because once he learns it, he's gonna start using it like he did when he learned what ratio means, and he wouldn't shut up about saying ratio. It means go outside your vlog mom torture chamber and touch some grass, put your feet in the dirt, do something besides living in your cave, spend time with your family for once. I'm just gonna say this, DCP, we know you're watching. You just had the biggest boomer moment I've ever seen. So number 21 is she has 8 million subs. Again, it's a fact. What I'm going to assume here is DCP saying that she has 8 million subs, so that means like she's in the right and you're in the wrong because you have 100,000, right? I mean, that's...
Which is so funny, because when he's talking about people that have less subs than him, that means that they're immediately invalidated because they have less subs than him. You know, just because Maya has 8 million on her side and Josh has 100 whatever K that he's claiming are completely real followers.
Even though he can't even get roughly half his community to watch his content. Look at the vloggers. I mean, he harps on Jess Fam for being wrong, right? Jess Fam's wrong for exploiting her children. Jess Fam's a piece of that's what he says, right? But she has 1 point whatever million. So if we're wrong because you have more than us, then you're wrong because she has more than you. That's how this works, my guy. So number 23. So you can't do cocaine anymore and parent your kids? What? So is he...
It's a total straw man.
Just like with the alcohol thing. It's like, oh, you can't drink around your kids anymore? Okay, so when has Maya Knight been on TikTok doing... Number 25, you must not have kids. Well, you wouldn't know it by how much he's in his basement. Number 26, those babies are loved. Yeah, they are. I mean, I have no doubt that Maya Knight loves her children. Just because she has a couple drinks here and there, or even puts them online, doesn't mean she doesn't love them. Number 27, it's literally satire. Well, there's a lot of satire when it comes to Maya Knight. She with her community, with her kids, and then she also has like nicknames for her kids, and they all like play on it or whatever. It is satire. It's a joke. Pretty sure she's not actually calling her kids like Scotch and vodka off camera. For a guy who puts out so much jokes, who's so funny to the world, he sure cannot take a joke. You can point out things with Maya Knight and point out things that are bad. Okay, fine. Obviously, her little nicknames with her children and the things she does with her community, with them, with her kids, it's a joke. It's so obvious. But of course, DCP doesn't find it funny. But he's a funny guy. Make it make sense. Number 28, bro can't get jokes. Like I just said, he can't take a joke. His community wants to act like bullying women is a joke. It's not a joke. He'll say, oh, just take what I say with a grain of salt. I actually don't mean what I say. Okay, well then how are we supposed to take you seriously for your so-called message if you don't mean what you say. You say you bully the bullies, you bully women who exploit their children, but the things you say should be taken as a joke.
He's saying that these comments from people that don't have a leg to stand on are saying, oh, well, Josh can't take jokes. But whenever he says some like really despicable about other people, he says, oh, well, people can't take jokes.
Anyways, all you jealous haters, that's about it. Thank you, Colty, for coming on here. I think, honestly, we just read a list basically of what DCP and his community says. That's what it seems like.
Like, these are all stupid. He thought that he was getting out ahead of the clout chasing army that was going to come against him. He is absolutely clout chasing. He doesn't really care what people say that are from Maya's stands because they're all rabid anyways. So, Josh, bestie, sweetie, have me on your channel. I know you're watching this. Have me on your channel. That's all I have to say.
Just for anybody out there, the reason why she's getting tipsy is just to spite Josh because he's such a prude.
Honestly, I almost wore one of my Hooters jerseys, one of my Hooters uniform shirts today, but I decided against it.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we're all about the triggers. You know what I mean? We're all about the DCP triggers, man. I should get a blonde wig.
I would mail you. I have like 50 Hooters uniforms. I'll mail you a tank top. I'll mail you something to wear. Maybe just some shorts or something. Just to piss him off.
Yeah, I would piss him off. I'd be jealous of these buns because he has
these
no
muscles.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.